there was a survey asking people, what do you do if you hear a strange noise in the night? And the number one answer was nothing until I hear a second noise. I lay quietly and still until I hear a second noise.
I'm that way.
Agree.
You don't.
I get it.
I don't want to have to get up. That's for sure.
Especially if it's nothing.
Right.
Well, the houses settle.
Yeah. You'll hear something.
We have
don't
animals, that sleep, that are in the laundry area.
Right. So you can knock something off.
They could knock something over.
I don't react till my dog reacts.
That was number 3. If the dog barks. If the dog starts barking, then you get up and investigate it. One night, my CPAP machine fell off the side of the bedside table.
Were you thrashing about?
How does that happen?
It must have been.
I do it. It's happened to me a couple times.
Like a shark on a boat?
Yeah, it went down. And there I was,
Yeah. Oh, you go with it. You're like,
yeah.
Like a fish out of water?
But it crashed. And I mean, parts of it started, like a plastic piece went across the room.
Dang, what happened?
I don't know. I must have been dreaming and thrashing. And
did your wife wake up bolt upright?
She did, and she's like, "They're coming for us." That's what she said. They're coming for us. She always thinks that.
Yeah.
My daughter thinks she's possessed by a demon. She had a dream about a demon last week.
Your daughter thinks that she herself, or that your mother is possessed. Her mother is possessed.
She thinks it's quite possible I'm possessed by a demon. I said, I'm going to rule it out for now.
Golly.
What is going on?
She's the Bible thumper.
She is. She goes, well, I had a dream that a demon possessed me.
She's never good enough.
Well, and she said, I don't know that it was a dream. It's quite possible a demon has possessed me. And I said, well, maybe your mother.
That's going to cost you a froyo, Dad. I know.
She's,
yeah.
Last week, too, my wife was vacuuming. This goes back to the vacuum cleaner. She was vacuuming the living room, and the dog started going crazy, like barking at the vacuum. And my wife said, Annie, calm down, all this. And I said, it's because she's never seen a vacuum cleaner before.
Ba-boom.
That got her. Boy, that got away with her. Let me tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So when people hear a noise, they do nothing until they hear a second. They wait to see if the dog barks. And then they get out of bed to investigate, many times carrying with them a golf club or baseball bat around the house.
The closest weapon.
Yep, try to find something. Check the security system, grab for a weapon. Almost none call the police. It usually is nothing, of course. Survey found that 19% of people usually believe that it's a burglar, and it's not. I mean, 19% automatically go, that's a burglar, and it almost never is. And then 13% think immediately, ghost. Supernatural. Huh. I never believe that. I never think supernatural, but I guess people do. Buddy's on the line to talk about what you do when you hear a noise in the night. Buddy, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just had this last night. The way I handle it is I just keep listening to it until I can figure out what the heck it is.
Mm-hmm.
Last night it was about 10 times before I finally said, oh, it's the dryer.
Right.
I didn't get out of bed not one time.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of people. Like, now, what could that be? Right. And so you heard it 10 times and then thought, got it. It's the dryer. The one time we had a problem, we had an alarm system and it went off. Thank you, buddy. It showed there was movement in the house and my wife was petrified. We were upstairs in the bedroom and she was, she sent me down. So there I am creeping around with a baseball bat. And it turned out to be a helium-filled balloon. It was my son's birthday, and when he was young. And we had left the balloon down there, and it was floating around downstairs. So the alarm went off.
Perfect.
And there I am, staring at
You
a clown.
swing at it?
Sure.
Did you miss it?
Got it right upside the clown head.
Wood
boy.
bat or aluminum?
I go aluminum. I like a lighter weight. I like to really be able to get into it.
That sounds nice.
Mm-hmm. Robot Rob, you're talking about hearing a strange noise in the night. Go ahead.
Morning, boys. Thanks for the call.
Thank you for calling.
So I'm a high school guy, and I'm home alone. I'm in the shower, so you're vulnerable. You feel a little, whatever.
Yeah.
And I swear there's a knock at the door. And I'm like, okay, all right, calm down. It's not nothing. Keep showering. Swear there's another knock at the door. I'm like, okay, now we're getting serious. So I get a little paranoid. I'm still in the shower. I turn the shower off. I don't want to go out there because I heard a knock, right?
Yes.
So I open the window. I crawl out on top of the roof. Like, can I get out of the house?
Okay.
It's raining. But I crawl out on the roof, and I'm in my towel, of course. looking around. I'm trying to decide, can I jump down off the roof safely?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, no, can't do it. I'm going to bust something. So I crawl back in the house.
Yeah.
Now I'm deciding, how do I get to a phone to call the police?
Wow.
And it's before cell phones.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 phones in the house. Like, all right, you can do this. Come on, you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
You're a strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
Please. So I make a break for my parents' bedroom, run down the hall, slam the door behind me, call the police, tell them there's somebody in the house.
Yeah.
They show up. Then they're like, well, we don't see any entry from the outside. Okay. Well, then I give them the garage door code. They open the garage door. They come in. They, search the house. Nobody's there.
Nobody there. No, just nothing. And did you ever find out what was knocking on the door while you were in the shower?
Just my head, I guess.
Just in your head. Isn't that so? And you crawled out on the roof.
You were high.
Wrapped in a tie. Were you high? Dave's asking, were you high?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
But it is not true.
It's not.
I just got scared, I mean, sometimes you hear something and your brain goes to bad places, I guess.
It can. It can
I do think your brain hears stuff sometimes.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. Dave and I just had a great conversation off air about getting high.
Great conversation.
It meant a lot more to you than it did to me.
We were talking about legalizing marijuana, and I've always been for it, in different states. But I'm concerned that people would get high if you did that.
I can almost guarantee
I'm
it.
starting to get concerned.
I didn't think it through, folks.
It's starting to worry me a
Some
little.
people that smoke will get high.
Don't you think? I think
would
that
think.
might happen. Jay, you're talking about noise and hearing it in the house. Go ahead.
Yeah, this has become a bit of a family legend. My mother used to keep a clock radio in the dining room to listen to music while she was cleaning. Apparently, one day she accidentally set it to go off in the middle of the night, and she woke up, heard voices down in the hallway, and she wakes my father up. And my father sleeps naked, and he wears a CPAP machine. So he gets out of bed with his CPAP hose hanging off his nose like an elephant trunk, pulls a 357 Magnum out of his dresser drawer and waves at the hallway and tells my mother, "Go ahead."
God.
Nobody there, I guess. No problems. That's funny. Just that visual of him with the
Naked with a CPAP.
with the CPAP hanging from your nose. Thank you, Jay. That's funny. Batman, you're talking about, this all came from this woman who heard a noise in the night. It turned out to be a Roomba vacuum cleaner falling downstairs. She called police over it. And now what do you do when you hear a noise in the night? Batman, you have one. Go ahead.
Not Batman, Stuntman, but that's all right.
All right.
I was in the house one time, and I forgot what I was doing. Me and my wife were doing something. I heard something upstairs, and I heard a noise coming out from out back, and I was wondering what the noise was, and so I went downstairs to investigate with my shotgun, and it happened to be one of my cows that got out the pen and was coming in the back door.
Oh, geez. Well, you did hear something then. You did.
Maybe he wanted some milk. Maybe he's hungry.
Was it difficult to get him back out where he was supposed to go?
No, he was a little one. I kept real good care of him. I kind of treated him like a child, so I just let him stay in there for a little bit, gave him a donut cake, and let him go on back out when he got ready.
That's how we hired Biggie.
Offered him a donut cake at the back door.
He won't leave.
He kept coming back.
He's very tame.
Yeah, you can pet him if you want to.
Sure.
Montgomery, you're talking about hearing strange noises. Go ahead.
Yes. So I was in high school. I was in 11th grade. And for some reason, I was sleeping out on the couch in the living room. Well, I had gotten a weird feeling. And I woke up and I looked beside me and there was a man sitting beside me.
Oh, my God. You just gave me a chill just saying that. So what?
Yes.
So what did you do?
So he actually was moving his hands, and he was actually like touching like my shoulders and my upper chest area.
Oh my God.
I turned and I was thinking I was maybe still asleep, so I sat up and pushed my hair back, and I looked at him and I said, "Who are you?" And the most the scary thing to this day is that he whipped his head and looked at me, and I could only see his silhouette because it was pitch black. And he got up and ran out of the house.
Oh, my God.
That's terrifying. That is terrifying.
Oh.
And that man was Dave Aiken.
Did you see little beams coming out of his ear pods? Wow. That is like the scariest thing I've heard. And you never found out who it was or anything like that?
No, and so I had grabbed my phone, and I didn't want to walk through the house because I didn't know where he was.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my mom's cell phone. Well, she didn't answer the first time, naturally, because she was asleep. So, but I immediately thought, they were dead. And so I tried again, and she answered the phone, and then I started sobbing because it all, really hit me that what happened. And so, we had looked around the house, she got my dad up,
mm-hmm.
and we walked downstairs, and we had realized somebody was sleeping in my sister's bedroom. They were away at college.
Wow.
But we realized the back door was open.
Oh, my
Dear
God.
Lord.
Oh, my God. Did you think to yourself, even after you sat up and saw him, did that really just happen? If for a couple of minutes, did you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think, too. I'd be going, am I dreaming?
I was thinking maybe it was like someone sleepwalking who was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized they had pushed my school books under the chair beside the couch and had knocked over my drink. God. So that kind of just
wow.
validated that it actually happened.
This is like the scariest thing you can possibly imagine. When it's real.
That's a movie scene right there.
And they're in the house, and they were sleeping in your sister's bed.
How long does it take to feel safe again in your own home?
Yeah, were you able to sleep? How long did it take until you got a good night's sleep?
Oh, my gosh, a while. I definitely was like, okay, I'm going to sleep in my parents' room for the rest of the time I live here.
Ain't that the truth? I don't
You got
know.
to change the locks, too.
I would think about that
For a
constantly.
mental thing.
Yes, you do. You need to do all of that kind of stuff. What a story. Thank you for telling it, Montgomery. Really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, what a delightful person she was. Thank you, Montgomery.
Too late to flirt.
All right.